Soul Simmers, my name is Darth Jaswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be building a shack for a werewolf here in Moonwood Mill on the New Moon Shack lot. We have a small basement here that our werewolf is going to be raging in, and I'm just going to get right into this, shall we? We've already got the house built, and we're working on finding out some tile and some wallpaper for the bathroom and the rest of the house in general. I'm using a lot of Horse Ranch and the Werewolves pack. And I'm going to use this linoleum from the base game just in the bathroom and in the kitchen just for now. I think I might end up changing it to a different one later on, but that is okay. I was going to post another video on Saturday, but I was having some audio issues. Nothing was coming out of my computer. I couldn't hear anything. And it turns out that my laptop was pairing to my husband's computer screen for some reason and trying to put the audio through my husband's computer. So it took me a day or two to figure out why it was doing that and how to figure out how to make it stop doing that, because I didn't have any audio yesterday when I was playing Pal World for a little while. And I thought that was weird because I had my volume on, but I also didn't really think about it because I usually watch YouTube videos while I'm playing games anyway, so I didn't really need the sound. But yeah, I was really confused because I went to go record and nothing was coming out, and I couldn't hear any of my songs, the little song that I have playing in the background here. So I was just freaking out a little bit because I am not super tech savvy. I can figure out how to make a video just fine, but oh my god, trying to figure out audio stuff is not my strong suit. I've got a few things here in the living room now. I'm using the Basement Treasures kit chair and a few of the lamps from that kit as well. We've also got the Basement Treasures coffee table with the TV on it. I also was supposed to have this as a voiceover recording when I actually built this house. That's why you can kind of see me describing things with my mouse here. I actually got a phone call from my dad while I was building this, so I ended up just stopping because I'd already gotten the shell done, and I was just kind of putting on the wallpaper on the outside when he called me, and I just forgot to turn on my audio. So that's really sad. Hopefully I'll get another chance this week to do some pre-recorded stuff like that. It's always easier for me to do the voiceovers while I'm building because then I just edit it and upload it instead of having to come back and do these voiceovers. But it was still nice to have a chat with my dad because I don't really talk to him that often, and I don't get to see him that often either because he lives an hour and a half away, and it's just not a drive that I want to make with a 5-year-old right now. Because you know those in movies and TV shows where the kids are just are we there yet? Are we there yet? That's my kid. Every 2 seconds. Even with some of the shorter trips, to the store or to grandma's house, it's a constant stream of questions about how long it's going to be until we get there, or where are we? Have you ever seen Stewie and Lois where he's just going, Mom, 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 Mama, Mama, Mama? And it's that. My grandparents on my dad's side still live relatively close to me, and I've talked about them before. I actually built their house a couple weeks ago. I'll probably have to put that in here in a card or something like that so you guys can go and check that video out. But he does get around every once in a while, and we usually go and see him when he's up here. Usually they're just cutting wood and stuff like that because my grandparents still have a wood stove to heat their house, which is atrocious for their age because they're in their 80s now, and it's so hard to have them actually haul it in themselves, so we have to have a lot of help with them. But I used to have to cut wood with them when I was younger, and that was awful. I didn't like doing it at all. There was always spiders and bugs crawling on me by the time I was done. And, it freaks me out. But the last couple years, they've actually been renting a machine that my dad's friend has, and you just put the large logs on it, and it chops them into smaller pieces and splits them all in one. So you don't have to really do anything except for stack it, which is really nice. So we go over there and help them every once in a while when we can. Usually my husband helps more, and I just keep an eye on the kid because he's rambunctious and tries to get involved in everything, and I don't want him to get hit by a piece of wood because it just kind of flies out the end of the conveyor belt. But we usually try to keep him away from the conveyor belt and maybe even stacking wood because it can be kind of dangerous, and he's gotten some splinters before and he doesn't like that. So we just try to keep him occupied doing other things. But that's really all that's been going on with me lately. We're getting into the bedroom now, so I wanted to add a day bed in this little bump out here, but I couldn't really find anything that I liked besides this couch from the Industrial Loft Kit, I believe. I like the green that we have going on in this room with the couch and with the comforter. We've also got the trunk suitcases from Werewolves that are actually a dresser, so you can change your Sims clothes from there. I also added a mirror from the base game. I was thinking about using one of the ones from the Basement Treasures kit, but it just didn't fit in here. It was way too big. And it also leans against the wall, and we don't really have a lot of wall space in here. I usually use like this crate table when I'm doing builds like this, but I ended up finding the one from Paranormal Pack, and I like that a lot better because it has like the really cool design on it, and then I still ended up leaving one of the crate tables on the other side of the bed. I thought I used it downstairs too, but I ended up using a different table. I'm also adding in this rug from Get Famous, I believe. It's kind of like worn down and ratty, and it really fits in here because that's kind of the vibe that we're going for. And I wanted to try to use a lot of the Basement Treasures kit because I love that pack so much. It's got a lot of really old, crusty things in it, and I just love it. And then I also added the game board clutter pieces down here on the coffee table, and then I ended up using a spooky stuff table instead of the crate table. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys, I don't think that the spooky stuff pack is worth the build buy stuff or the casts. I feel like it could have easily came with like seasons, and it should have. I don't know why it didn't. Trick-or-treating is already in seasons, so it's not like we needed the spooky stuff pack unless you have like the costumes, but like also there's still a decent amount of costumes in the base game that you can use. And speaking of our sim destroying stuff because they're a werewolf, let's get into the rage basement here really quickly. I've got a mini fridge down here. I almost used the one from the daily rewards, but I ended up just using the one from university because it has like some stickers on it. Makes it feel more personalized with the stickers. But we're just going to add like some scratches on the walls and on the floor, and then like possibly some like mold and stuff like that. So it looks kind of nasty down here, but it's a rage room, and I didn't really want to put anything super expensive down here. We also have like a weightlifting area down here just so your sim can like work on that. They can like pump iron while they're getting their rage out, you know? And I actually didn't realize when I was building this, but our ladder is not functional right now. I did end up switching it because when I was playtesting it, I couldn't use it, and I was like, what the heck? But no big deal. I just kind of like rotated them so they could still access the basement. And then I'm also just getting in like some random clutter items in here, like some pipes, this Journey to Batuu flag, which if you don't have Journey to Batuu, that's fine. It just won't be in your game. But you know, my name on here is Darth Jeswick, so I have to do some kind of Star Wars something or other. Even if the Star Wars gameplay is kind of not really the best, I still like using a lot of the objects from the build buy mode because they're actually really good objects. I also thought about putting the water circulator from Journey to Batuu out there on the outside of the basement area, but I ended up just switching it out with the for rent one, and it's functional, I believe. No, it might not be. It's not the functional one. I thought it was, but it's not. Which in hindsight is probably the best idea because werewolves will destroy stuff and make it not usable, and if they can't break it, then you don't have to replace it. We're also getting in a small little desk area here in the hallway. I really didn't know what else to put in here, so I just added that because we didn't have a computer in general. It's just always a good idea to have a computer in the game, even if you're not like living here. And if you just like place this house and like go to visit the person who lives here, you can use their computer if you're like doing a rags to riches and you need to get your fun need up. And speaking of rags to riches, I saw a rags to riches challenge on TikTok from Hip Hip Renee, who got it from Simply Simmer, I think. It's like a one tile challenge. You basically lock your sim in a room and they can't leave that room until they make enough money to build a whole house. So that's really fun. I think I might try that out. It kind of seems like right up my alley because I like to have my sims basically be tortured, especially like Crystal Baby because she deserves it. She's a criminal. And if you don't know who Crystal Baby is, she's the sim that I used in my Crystal Creations Let's Play. She's actually a recreation of my GTA 5 online personality. And she's used to living in some pretty rough conditions considering her job and the fact that she's probably always on the run from the law. I don't know if I'll use Crystal for this Let's Play, but if I do, then you'll see her in there. But I don't want to use the same sim like over and over again. And plus we used her in the last one, so she deserves a little bit of a break. But we're just getting to this upstairs hallway right now. I'm adding in a shelf from Werewolves that you can actually put like the collectibles from that pack on, and then a few like posters and a chair, just so you can sit up here and like kind of sit with your collectibles, I guess. I feel like I never know what to add in hallways. I'm just really bad at that. But let's move on to the landscaping though. We've got the outside of the house all pretty much done with the wallpapers. I've used like a couple of different swatches of wallpaper just to make it seem like they maybe like tried to paint the whole house and then just like ran out of paint, so they grabbed another can of paint, and then they ran out of that can of paint, so they grabbed another one and another one. I thought that was a really fun idea. But we're also getting in like some pine trees and some of the hawthorn trees and also some of the trees from Outdoor Retreat because they actually match the world better than some of the base game trees. I truly will never understand why they don't give us landscaping with all these new packs like that's in the world, because it's already there, but you have to like search for it in debug if you really want it, and it's not feasible for a lot of people, especially if you're on console and you don't use like a keyboard. I know it's not as easy to like enter cheats with a controller, that's why I use a keyboard typically, but not a lot of people have access to that. So I wish they would just put it in the regular build by catalog. But I am going to use the trash can from this pack. It's actually just like a metal barrel that you would put like fluids or oil in. We've also got like a big fire pit here that's actually from Werewolves. It's got like trash and furniture in it, and I think that's funny. I really like that actually. It's very realistic. I feel like that would be a very werewolf way to dispose of like your old furniture, just to light it on fire. I'm also adding in like a bunch of trash and stuff from Eco Lifestyle and Werewolves. There's a lot of really good like junk items in this pack, I guess. And then there's also these really cool bushes that I'm using underneath all of our pine trees because I feel like they fill in a lot of the space down there. I also didn't know that there was a gas station decoration in debug, so we might have to build a gas station or a convenience store at some point because we don't have cars, so we don't need gas stations, but I will like try to actually build one because I've done it before and it's actually really fun. It's been a while since I've actually done that, so it might be fun to do that again. We're also just getting in some rocks from the werewolf pack and then just some other random plants here and there just to fill in some of the empty space here. You can see we've got like a ton of trash back here. Also the flirty heart bed from the basement treasures kit and a punching bag from Werewolves. But I feel like if you're gonna hang out here and like have a bonfire, the flirty heart bed might be a really good spot to have outside so they can like get flirty while they're by the bonfire, you know? I also thought about using the pea bush from Werewolves, but I feel like I ended up leaving it out just because I forgot about it at the end because I wanted to use all these like grass bits in the back just to make it look like they haven't mowed the lawn in a long time. But that is just about all for today's speed build. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I try to upload a few videos a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Dag dag!